Test, test, test. Hello, test. This is a test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, well. This is a test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, well.
Well, if you're looking for better, more professional looking prints
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully the audio is working fine today. I tested it, or I tried to test it, and that's why the stream started like half an hour early, because I hit the start streaming button in OBS, and that also triggered YouTube to start actually live streaming instead of just showing me the preview. Pretty sure I know I need to, what setting I need to click to change that behavior in the future, but anyways, got kind of an early start with the starting soon this morning, so at any rate, we're here. Today I'm going to be building my very first 3D printed hand wire board. As you can see, I am new to using my 3D printer. I don't really know what happened here, but something happened. This just came off of the printer like 5 minutes ago, so I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna, you know, try to fix it for future builds. It's really thin. I think it's just one layer, maybe. Oh no, it looks like it's about 3, but I think what probably happened is there's just some schmutz on the printer bed. I need to clean it off, and still kind of dialing things in, but it'll work for this. This is just kind of a fun little project, fun little toy kind of thing. But this is a keyboard that is, this is the whole thing. Like, you are looking at the entirety of the components except for, you know, some wire. This is an ARTSEY keyboard. Well, I guess there's one more component that I don't have in here, and that's an OLED, but yeah, I'll figure out if I'm gonna do that or not. But this is a keyboard that is meant for the ARTSEY keyboard layout, ARTSEY. ARTSEY is a single-handed chording layout. The idea with this, I think, is meant for, like, you can have a keyboard in one hand and your phone in the other, and you can type on it reasonably well. I like messing around with weird keyboards. I have a Ginny, which is an Acetniop keyboard, so it's 10 keys on 2 hands. This is 8 keys on 1, and actually, you know, if I end up liking this thing, it might end up going to Japan with me, because it'd be just kind of cool to have a board like that, you know, for most of my typing needs, I can use that. But, I don't know, we'll see. It does support, like, symbols and function keys and all sorts of crazy stuff you can do with it. That, you know, obviously the farther you get away from standard alphas, the more kind of weird it gets. But you know, that's fine. So there is no PCB for this. I don't even know if this is actually really publicly available. But this case was designed by MarvFPV on the numerous keyboard servers that I'm on, but also on the ARTSEY keyboard server. And yeah, so we're gonna build this up today. I've got my clicky perps. Oh, you can hear it. So I've got my click bar modified perps that I'm gonna put in here. I've got some MBK blue keycaps. Just got a Pro Micro. I'm not ready yet to use a nice nano with this. Like, it is ideally, or is best suited with wireless, I would think, because it goes with your phone or whatever, but I'm gonna use it wired for now, just because these are cheap and plentiful. Like, you can't buy nice nanos, but I bought this 10-pack on Amazon like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, kind of go from there. I also, just today, just mere minutes ago, received my MBK Legend caps. So I will be, as soon as we're done with this and getting it flashed and all that good stuff, I'm going to be taking those and I'm going to put them on my chalk corn that I built a couple weeks ago, because this has RGB support. But one thing I wanted to do with this is I accidentally put the MX plate on it, so I'm going to put the chalk plate on it, and I'll swap out the switches as well as the keycaps, because these switches are destined, these are also clicky perps. These switches are destined for my my Cornish Zen. So that's where I'll be putting those eventually. I really do, for these nylon 3D printed caps, they feel pretty nice. I want to try them out. I just haven't used this board really because I'm liking my Zaphod so much. I don't know. But anyways, we'll get started here on the ARTSEY board. Like I said, I'm going to use this plate even though it's messed up just because, like, you know, I can look back at it and be like, oh yeah, look at that really crappy 3D print job. Like, you should see the other side. It looks like hell. A year from now when I'm like 3D printing the Mona Lisa or something like that. I don't know. But I have a schematic for this that I'll put up when I get to wiring it. And yeah, this is a pretty straightforward build. There's no diodes because it's only 8 switches, so each switch gets its own pin on the controller. Let me grab the OLED for it. I'll at least put it in here if it's not wired up. Yeah, right back. There's an OLED. Cool. So this also kind of goes right here in there so you can see it. I don't know. Marv's looks really cool, his picture of it. No, that corn has hot swaps. Yeah. Yeah, most of my keyboards have hot swaps. One keyboard that doesn't have hot swaps that I really wish had hot swaps is my Zaphod, because I would have tried these clerps a long time ago, but I don't feel like desoldering everything. So one thing that I had some good success with on this print is that these switches actually clip in here pretty decently. Not perfect, but decent. Good enough that I don't feel like they're going to pop out while I'm using it. Whoops. Like, I might end up hot gluing these in or something like that just to make sure. And of course they're popping out now, but I'm also putting a lot of pressure on the case. Flexing the plastic quite a bit. Okay, so I think this goes in here. Oh, it might not fit. Oh no, it fits. Okay, that goes in there. That goes on top of it, and then I can wire it all up. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do that. I am going to take the little protector off here. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time, and that's fire up the hot snot machine. Because I'm going to... I want to keep that in position. Okay. What's that? Let's do this. Let that get heated up. So, looking at the schematic here for this, let me pull it up onto the screen. So looking at the schematic here, we've got one side of all the switches goes to ground, On the other side goes to various pins on the controller. And it looks like it starts at right below VCC. So there's A3, A2, A1, A0, I5, I4, yada, yada, yada. So those are all of the right side here are all the switches. And it looks like it goes across the top. And then across the bottom. So if I just remember that, let me actually write it down. Find a pen. Something to write on. Hello, Marv. Look what I did to your poor print. I don't know what happened. But, yeah. So the schematic for this is actually, sorry, I should take a step back. The schematic I'm looking at here is actually for the paintbrush keyboard, which is an ARTSEY keyboard that has a PCB and all this stuff. So I'm looking at the schematic for it in KiCad, but this uses the same layout. So really a PCB is just hardwired, like I'm just hand wiring what a PCB would do. So it's the same wiring. So we've got, let me just scroll this. Got raw, ground, reset, VCC, and then we've got eight switches. So we've got there. Okay. Just so I know kind of where things should go here. Oh, also, fun, I got a new fume extractor here. It's hard to see because it's really big. It's really quiet. Like, much quieter than what I had before. We'll see how well it does on the airflow thing, but I got it from a member of the PDX Keyboard Club. It's just a standard 12-volt PC fan with a filter in front of it and a 3D printed case. But I wanted something quieter, so I was like, hey, has anybody tried like different fans or fan blades or whatever? And this guy was like, yeah, I've actually got all the parts to do this and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So I bought it off of him, and pretty pleased with it so far, but I haven't used it like actually soldering. So we'll see. Alright, I'm gonna smash a little hot snot in here. Doesn't need to be perfect or anything, just something to hold it in place, just kind of tack it in place, because what I'll do is once I get this wired up, I'll put a little hot snot on the back and squish it in there, and it'll hold it all in place pretty good. Well, fortunately, the stickers that I had on there, I have tons of, so I can always put more on. Because I had, what, like a split KB and a little keyboards and chalk guys and one of mine, I think. And like, I have so many little keyboards and split KB stickers, I can't even, like, I think the only stickers I have more of are MK Ultra stickers, because I've ordered so many individual orders from them. Whoops, okay, this should actually move a hair. Here's the fun part about hot snot. it doesn't actually stick all that well, so I can pull this off of here pretty easily. Hello, Cash. Yeah, really what I'd like to do is be able to mic the soldering iron somehow, so if there are any sounds coming off of things, so it's not just completely dead air and music. But the fan previously made that almost impossible because it was so loud. There, that'll do. Alright, where can I put this so that it doesn't get glue on everything? Okay. That'll do. Okay, so we've got that in there. What about OLED? How does the OLED get wired? There's no OLED on the schematic. Where does SCA, SDA, and SCL go? Oh no, this is the OLED. Okay. Well, I don't actually need to wire. I should. Let me worry about the switches first. So, we need a ground wire that goes to each of the switches, and it doesn't really matter which side, but the top one, at least on the top row, is going to be easiest to access, I think. So what I'm going to do is lay a wire down here, and then probably just solder through the insulation. Because it's 28 gauge wire, this insulation isn't very thick. Oops, that should not be on top of the iron, and that should not be... Here's the end of this, so I'm gonna just cut off a chunk of wire. If I can find my cutters. Oh, you know what I could have done is wrapped this all the way around. This is fine. There will be 2 ground wires coming over. Might need to move my lights around a little bit. I'm not going to do it right now. But it's a little dark right here, and I think I have some stuff that's casting shadows. Okay. is that being weird? Okay. I need... This is moving around way too much, so I need to apply some adherent. Who needs a third hand tool when you have blue tape, right? Wow, this is actually fairly heat resistant insulation. See if I can pull it all the way down the wire here. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll try to cut off a little tiny piece here in the middle. So I'm going to cut 2 circles around the wire to try to expose, to get the insulation, and then I'll cut this way across it. Hopefully. That will allow me to get in here. Pull off a tiny section of insulation. There we go. Where did my flux syringe go? There it is. I think a little tiny bit of flux on both. That will help a lot. Oh, I'm sure there is. I don't even have wire strippers that are small enough to strip 28 gauge wire without just cutting the wire. So I'd be, you know, I wouldn't necessarily try something like that. But I'm sure that kind of thing exists. Here I thought I was going to be clever by doing it this way, but really the better way to do it would have been to wrap a little piece, wrap a little piece, wrap a little piece, keep going. Like wrap a little piece of wire around the pins. This is also the first time I've hand wired, so maybe maybe I'm doing it totally wrong. Also, while I do have some of those like hand wired PCBs, the ones I have are for MX hot swap, and these are chalk switches, so I can't use it. Okay, well this is kind of shit. There. And I am gonna wrap this one. Yeah, see, look, okay. It's hard, you can't hardly see it. But just trying to do that, I cut through half of this wire. Like, this wire is really hard to work with. And actually, you know what? I'm just gonna... We're gonna back up. Take a different approach here. Okay. Is that long enough still? Okay, thanks. Yeah, once I get my printer even more dialed in and stuff, I plan to do a skeletal hand wire, but it's not going to be fully hand wire. It's going to be hand wire with switch PCBs. PC babies, that's the one. Okay, so we are going to do the wrap the wire around the switch leg. routes here, because I think that'll just be easier and cleaner. Also, pro tip, don't buy stranded wire at this small. Get it solid. That's another problem I'm having. There we go. Okay. DIY Keyboards, is that DIYKeyboards.com? It's the same person? Yeah, that's a cheap off-brand X-Acto knife from Home Depot. But it gets the job done. Miryoku on the Moonlander. I feel like that's it's like the opposite layout you want for the Moonlander. The Moonlander is like, here, I heard you like keys. Let me give you some keys. Like, it is a great looking keyboard, but holy crap. It's huge. I thought about getting a Moonlander, but fortunately it came out just right after I built my Kyria, I want to say. And I was just like, man, that thing is too big. So I missed that. I dodged that bullet. Okay, well, it doesn't want to stay on top, so we'll go under. Now I'm down to 8 keys. I wouldn't say I'm down to 8 keys yet. I'm just dabbling down to 8 keys. There we go. Oh, 4-key keyboard. I don't even know. You'd have to do a lot of tap dance with 4 keys. Because there's certainly, or definitely not enough chords at 4 keys for even, I think, just 26 alphas. Or you'd have to have like order specific chords where it's like hold one key, then press the other. But the other direction, like hold A, press B, and hold B, press A are two different combinations. And then at that point, why aren't you just using 8 keys? Whoops, I didn't want that whole length. Oh, I can get rid of the KiCad for now. Five keys would be awesome, but I think you would want to have it as some sort of like grip thing where you hold it in your hand and you press the keys, and that would be a very difficult board to make, I think. I know they exist for like ported keyboards with you know, they have multiple kind of switches accessible to each hand position, but this is more meant for like you set it on a table and tap at it, I think. At least that's how I will be using it. Or attempting to use it, I should say. Who knows if I'll stick with it very long. Wow, it's supposed to get up to 100 degrees here today. And it's already warm down here. That's 38C for you non-freedom lovers. Yeah, but see, in Savannah, you've got like 1,000% humidity. But you also have boiled peanuts. I'm assuming Savannah, Georgia. So you've got pros and cons there. It's like, well, it's cooler, but the humidity's higher. But we've got boiled peanuts. So... yeah, I really need to move these lights. Okay. I've only ever had boiled peanuts once in my life. That was back in 1996. We were driving to Atlanta to go to the Olympics. And we stopped and had boiled peanuts. And that's how much of an impact they had on me that 35 years, 25 years later, I'm still like, oh my god, they were great. Yeah, that was actually almost exactly 25 years ago, because I was in Atlanta on my birthday. So... okay. So what I'm going to do now is wire the bottom ground, and then I'll wire the ground from the controller to here, and from here to here, so there's not two wires going to the controller. Yeah, they're perishable. Really, like, they're literally just peanuts that you boil. Like, I could make them here. But it's just not the same. Like, when we did it, we were driving through... I don't remember where we were. Northwest of Atlanta, I'm guessing. But somewhere between Pigeon Forge and Atlanta, because that's where we came across the Smokies. Or no, was that on the way back? I don't remember. But we were coming through the mountains, out in the middle of nowhere on this little 2-lane highway, and there's a stand on the side of the road selling boiled peanuts. Like, it's kind of like I can make tacos, but I can't make the experience of getting tacos from a cart on the side of the street in Los Angeles. Like, that's just a totally different taco. Even if it's exactly the same ingredients and preparation and stuff like that. It's just a different taco. You know, just like you can get pad thai at a restaurant. It's street food, you know? Like, homemade street food just isn't the same because it doesn't taste like street. Okay, I'm gonna try to strip these a little longer so maybe I can wrap them around more. Okay, I think that worked better. See you later, Adam. Thanks for hanging out. And go get some peanuts. Eat some for me. Shit. This is harder than I was expecting it to be. Or more tedious, I should say. I think it's in large part due to the fact that I'm using stranded wire. What if I do this? Close. This is a mess, though. Yeah, don't use stranded wire for this. Oh, you jerk. Alright, we're gonna give up on that one. And then I'm gonna go full on crazy here. I'm gonna strip a whole bunch off of one end. Twist it up. Okay. This. There we go. That works better. Throw some flux on there. Big old dot of solder. And then trim off the excess. Beautiful. Okay, that works a lot better. So what I did is I stripped off a ton of wire, probably way more than I need, but a ton of wire on the one end. Stick it so that the insulation is right against the pin, and just wrap the wire around the pin a couple times. And then I'll come back to that one and solder it, because I'm going to solder these two together at the same time. Did I get that long enough? Just barely. This is a way longer piece of wire than I needed. Maybe I can slide this insulation down just a bit. Nope, whatever. This one is also going to go under. Okay. So now we just need to wire ground up to the controller. I'm going to give myself some buffer here, so I'm going to cut about that much. Because the one side will go soldered into the PCB. But the other side needs to wrap around that wire. Sorry, I'm working way off in the corner here. What's weird is it's harder to tell just from looking up like this at my camera where the framing is, even though there's a display on the back of it because it's an iPhone. Because I'm thinking the camera is in the middle here, but it's actually over here. So I keep wanting to center things onto the phone, but that's actually off center on the screen because the camera's in a different place. And yes, I know I've put dots and stuff on here, but like, you know, I'm not always thinking about where my dots are. Looks like that might be easier to get at. Whoops. Forgot to strip off the other end. Oh yeah, and before I solder anything to this controller, I should make sure it works first. Yep, looks good. I rearranged my desk a little bit and I don't have the same easy access plates for my, because these are, I was using these for mounting the lights. So I don't have the same easy access plates for mounting my magnetic things, my arms. So I need to actually bust out the heavy plate. What I want to do Let's push this through ground here. Hold it in place for a minute. While I solder it up. Okay, cool. Well, we're almost done. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. I'm glad I wasn't too optimistic about times. Oh, and I did it upside down. What I mean by upside down here is I want the... Well, do I? Now, I think despite how this is really designed, because it's a Pro Micro... So, okay, so this case I think is designed for a nice nano, which means it'll sit nice and flat in here. You solder in from this side and you're good. But this is a Pro Micro, so I want to flip it to hold the port on. Makes it sit up a little more. But now I can solder from this side. Yeah, that'll work. That'll be fine. Okay. Alright, so now what we want is... We've got our ground connected. So we want to skip to... and go to that. So we go to this pin here to that switch. And because of coloring and stuff, yeah, what's the worst that could happen, you know? It's not like I'm gonna burn my house down with this little keyboard. And if I do, well, then damn. Push one in and two more pop out. I don't know if y'all are readers or anything, but I like to read a lot. Like, I don't know. I'm not one of those people like, oh, I read 70 books a year. It's like, well, I would, but I don't read like 10 hours a day. I read for 20 minutes before bed. But I read a lot. I don't know. I feel like I read a lot, but not tons. But anyways, I like to read. So I've been reading this book, The Way of Kings, by Patrick Rothfuss? No, the other one. The Way of Kings, whatever it is. I don't remember who wrote it. Very prolific fantasy author. And it's really damn good. Like, I love long series and stuff like that, but I've been trudging through a lot of long series lately. And I started reading, and this is the first book, is, I want to say, I'm reading it on my Kindle, so locations, it's like 19,000 locations, which I think is about equivalent to 1,500 pages, something like that. Like the longest single Kindle book that I've ever read was 70,000 locations. And that was actually 3 very large books. So I think it's about, 10,000 pages to, or 1,000 pages to 1,000 locations, or I don't know. 10,000 locations. So I was a little intimidated at first. But it has dragged me into it. It's really good. I know that just came out of nowhere, but I was like, man, I want to talk about books. And it definitely has been dragging me in lately in terms of like wanting to read it more. Like, I found myself going to bed earlier just so I can read. Because there's something about it. I really, like... My favorite place to read is either in a coffee shop or in bed. And coffee shops have been closed for a year and a half. At least for indoor sit down and read kind of things. Although they're starting to open back up slowly here, although I think we're going to lose that. We go back to a mask mandate in Multnomah County on Friday. Which is awesome. I mean, I'm really glad they're doing it. Like, we need to, but it just sucks that we need to. Because people won't get vaccinated, it's like... Anyways. So... Yeah, I've been reading more. That's the TLDR. So one of the ways it's really cool is, one of the characters is like this total unbelievable badass. Like, just amazing, unstoppable. Has been described as a god, but he's like a slave. There's this thing called an oath stone, I want to say, that if anybody holds it, they're his master and he has to obey them. But he hates that he's a total badass. Like, he's got these like magical powers that make him very, very difficult to kill and stuff like that. And he also wields this thing called a shard blade, which is this blade that basically cuts through anything like butter and stuff. And like, with the two of them, he's basically unstoppable. But he really hates wielding it, and he really hates that he's so badass. But he can't, like, the only command he can't obey is to kill himself or something like that. I don't know. Hard to describe. Like he sees it as a curse that he's so badass. But the descriptions of the fights with this guy are just insane. I mean, oh man. Just cutting through big bad guys and stuff like butter. There's not a ton of politics, but there's a lot of, like, one of the other main characters has kind of a hidden talent that even he is not aware of that's starting to come out. But he's a slave, but for different reasons. He was betrayed by his former commander. And just, I don't know. Real good stuff. And it's like the first of, I want to say, a fairly long series of books. But at the very least, that author is very prolific, so I will have many, many books to read of his ahead of me. Which is good. I really like long series because I get into the characters, I get into the universe. Like, it's weird to switch context for me. Like, when I'm like, okay, I'm done with, say, The Expanse, right? Then I go and read something else, and I'm just like, I'm starting over here. Like, I want there to be more of this other, not necessarily series, but universe. The Ringworld universe, Known Space, is a great example of that, because there are multiple series within the universe, and even multiple genres within the universe. Like, there's one that's like a noir kind of detective, the Gilda Arm books, and it's so good, and the universe is just fantastic. So, like, they can reference things that happen in the universe and I understand it, and there's context. It's just so cool. Alright, we're getting there here. We're getting there. I wish I had some different colors of wire besides black and red, but, you know. Gotta work with what you've got, right? Alright, 2 more wires to run, and then solder it all up to the PCB, or to the controller. Solder up the OLED. Slap it all together. See what happens. Alright. So that's all the switches wired up. At least on the switch side of things. So let's go over to the controller side. How did that bend? Weird. Okay. So, check our schematic again. So we've got the top left switch goes in. So we've got ground, then there's resets, VCC, and then the switch hole. So we want it to go right there. This is gonna be fun. Let me bust out the magic arms again. Okay, there's one. Let's see if that works. Oh my god. See, I swear, sometimes these arm things are more hassle than they're worth. But I'm trying. Okay, so there's the top row. In the bottom row looks to be the same order. Just double checking with the schematic and with my little drawing. That's all the switches wired up. Kind of a rat's nest, but you know, it's kind of to be expected too. It's a hand wire build. It'll all go under the case plate anyways, so. All right, so that's that side. Now I just want to wire up the, oh wait, no, one more. I want to wire up the OLED real quick. So the OLED so ground is on the right when it's up, so ground is over here, VCC is next. So we've got ground, VCC, SCL, and SDA. So that's ground, VCC, SCL, SDA. And then controller pins. We get VCC. And since we already have a pin, we already have a ground over here being used, there's 2 more on the other side. So I'm going to use the ground on the other side, one of those 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 2 are both ground. So I can go to either of those. And then 5 and 6. We have SCL and SDA. Okay, so there, 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 and there. So the fun part about this is going to be flipping it over when I want to put it down in there. So I got to be careful when I'm wiring this up that I don't prevent that from happening. Oops. Hmm. So ground, VCC, SCL, SDA. So we want VCC comes from this needs to get flipped over. So VCC goes to the other side of the board. So VCC goes over here, and no, VCC goes here. Ground and these two go here. So there we go. So something I just noticed with the music is Chill Hop, their streams, they talk about their music having no like copyrighted samples or whatever, but there were a good number of Mario and Luigi and Nintendo sound clips in that last song, so I wonder how they deal with that. Because I'm pretty much relying on Chill Hop to not get me copyright claimed so that I can have background music. Maybe they license it or something. Something tells me not. Okay. So SCL goes on pin 5 on the other side. So we'll stick this under here next to the ground wire. Bring it up. Pop it in there. Whatever, so long as it holds it in place. There's that one and one more wire, and we're done wiring. So the firmware I flashed onto here claims to not have OLED enabled, so I'm not expecting the OLED to turn on. Because I just got this firmware off of the Discord for the paintbrush. But if I can type a couple of letters, I'll call it good. So here goes nothing. Oh wait, actually, one last thing. Let me just clean up some of these solder joints here, the wires. Okay. Let's see if we can type. Oh. Okay. So that is... It's going to be a little weird because this is outputting QWERTY codes, which my computer is then turning into Dvorak codes. So, I need to figure out how to fix that in the firmware. How to make it so it outputs Dvorak, or I don't know, how some of the things are correct. And then, yeah. Well, no, I guess I can just change my input to QWERTY. So, let's see. There. Boom. So we have a functioning keyboard. And I'll mess around with the OLED later, or the firmware later, and get the OLED stuff working. For right now, I'm going to try to flip this into the case. Let me plug my hot snot gun back in. And I think I need to trim these legs on the OLED. So let's flip the controller over. Get it into the right position. And then I get to try to smash all these flat and get them under the bottom of the case. Which I don't think is going to work, but we will find out. But first, before I can even do that, I need my hot snot to be hot, and it's not. Oh, okay, so while that's waiting, I'm going to drink some water. You know what I just realized? I forgot to get bananas at the grocery store earlier. I got a bunch of food, but didn't get bananas. So I'm gonna have to make another run. But fortunately today we don't need a frustration banana. It's more just a I've been streaming for 2 hours banana. Good morning, Japalutra. And isn't that Re, not Ru? That katakana? I mean, I'm probably wrong. I'm not an experienced katakana reader, but I did stay at my house last night. Okay, come on, get in there while it's still hot. How is the future treating you? I too would like to be in the future. But sadly, Japan won't let me in right now. Okay. Yeah, this case is Let's see if I can arrange things a little bit to get it flatter. Okay, well, hot snotting the controller didn't help, or didn't do anything. I think I missed the, it's actually melty window. Because it's not sticking in place. Let me pull that out. Try this again. There, I think it's stuck pretty decently now. So let's put this off to the side. Let's pull these down here. Push these here. Those here. Okay, so I think that's our biggest mess spot here. So I'm gonna just lay down some snot there. Hold that stuff in place. Okay, that'll work. Well, that didn't work on this end. More glue. Who wants to get this thing apart anyways, right? Oh. Okay, now I'll try to get some of the glue off of me. Scrape the excess off of Okay, well that one's, this end isn't sticking very well either. Yeah, I was actually kind of hoping to make it so I could get into this again. This is fine. I'll do that part after I've tested the OLED. But there we go. We have an ARTSEY keyboard. Oh, you know what? One thing I don't have with this new... extractor is my old extractor had all my net dot tips magneted onto the side of it. And apparently I don't have any micro USB ones now. I must be out of them. I don't know if it'll fit in there anyways, so it's fine. ARTSEY keyboard, hooray! Like I said, I'll figure out the firmware for the OLED later, and then I'll probably, like, I'd like to do a stream tomorrow about using this, so that could be fun. So maybe tomorrow I'll like do the Learn ARTSEY book and actually try to figure out how to use this, but I'll get the OLED working off stream before then. I do it now, but dicking around with firmware on stream, I just don't know if I quite like doing that. Like, unless I'm like working on firmware stuff, like I'm gonna be hopefully soon working on adding touchpad pointer support into ZMK for these Circ touchpads that I bought, because it'd be really awesome to have a touchpad like right here on my Zaphod. So I want to try to mess around with that, and I'm gonna try to do that on stream, so that, you know, just if I'm sitting at my computer doing something keyboard related, I might as well be streaming it. But I kind of want to move on and work on, do the next thing anyways. So, what is the next thing, you ask? The next thing is, of course, cleaning up just a touch here. And now I have hot glue stringiness everywhere. It's like spider webs. Hot glue is good stuff, but it sure is messy. Whoops. Set it there for now. Ah. Oh, I also bought some bread. So maybe tomorrow I will eat some bread with some toast and Vegemite and play around with ARTSEY. How about that? Okay, so next up, got the MBK Legend Glows. If you're not familiar with what these are, MBK caps are these caps. They're the kind of de facto standard chalk caps. But you can only get them in blanks, and really you can only get them in black and white, but these are special hand-dyed batches from MK Ultra that have blue and red and some other things. And then of course there's some prototype. I don't remember if these were called Shine. I thought the Glows were originally called Shines, but these are, I don't know, MBK foil. They're just prototype caps. They're okay. They're cool looking, but those aren't production. But these are now production. They have legends on them, and they call them Glow because the legends are clear, or they're translucent. So if you have backlighting on your keyboard, like say this one, that actually glows and shines through. So I just got these. I haven't opened them up yet to look at them. But here they are. There's a bunch of 1.5U and 2U keys in here too. One sad thing about these is they're ABS plastic, whereas normal MBKs are PVT. I'm not a huge fan of ABS, and if my Mac keyboards over the years have been any indication, that key right there is going to be transparent by the end of the week, because that is the T key on Dvorak, and for whatever reason I hit that really hard with my middle finger all the time. And if you look at any Mac laptop keyboard I've had for the past 10 years, that's the first key that goes. But that's fine, because these are, for me, mostly for show. More so than like I want them to be actually usable, because most of my keyboards do not have RGB backlight. So we're gonna put them on this, which does have RGB backlight. And like I said earlier, I built these with the wrong plates. You know, they're the correct color, but they're too thick, so the chalk switches don't fit. They don't snap well into it. But these plates here are made for chalk switches. This is the switch plate from the chalk, what do they call it? No, the Corn LP. And the Corn LP is a case / keyboard / PCB by Board Source. So this is the case for it. But this is just using an FR4 plate case, but this is the plate and the case for the MX. So it's kind of a little bit of a Frankenboard. I like this, but I don't run a plate with this. But since the actual Corn has RGB underglow, or since this one has underglow as well as backlight, I want to see the underglow, so I like to have a transparent, or a, you know, some way to see that, which you can't get with this. So, and I don't know if you saw it as I was coming over, but this is one of Jane's grandma's crocheted keyboard cases. If you didn't get one of those, I feel bad for you. It's really fun, and I keep my Corn LP in there because that's the first thing that's the board I was using when I got it. So, stuck it in there. Things good. I got this all built, and I'm gonna play around with it tomorrow. It's just glued together on the back right now, but I'll probably fix that up later. Now I'm gonna put my MBK Legends on here. So yeah, let's see. I need a keycap puller and a switch puller. Where's my keycap puller? Okay, well, we're just going to use this as a keycap puller. Oh, and I need somewhere to put these caps and these switches. So I'm gonna put the switch or the caps in here. I can, and that is a good point. I think actually. Oh yeah, so this does have homing keys for Dvorak and Colmac. So yes, good point. I didn't think about that. Most of the time, that is not the case where I have Dvorak compatible legends on my caps. Because even though, like, I get a lot of kits, keycap kits and stuff from KBD fans, and I get a lot of uniform profiles, they never come with the right homing keys. Or with non-homing F&J keys so that I could make my own homing keys. I mean, I still can, but then the F&J have the homing bumps on them and it would drive me nuts. Well, how do we want to do this? Oh, okay. Before I start trying to break my keyboard, maybe I should take it apart first. Why can't I open this today? Oh, because it's got hot glue. I accidentally hot glued my bit set closed. Oops. I swear I'm not sponsored by iFixit. I just happen to have a lot of their tools. Although if you want to sponsor me, iFixit. They make good stuff. What can I say? I've gotten a hell of a lot of mileage out of this bit set. Alright, I'm gonna put these not there. Okay, I don't need this. I don't need the big monster screwdriver. Because what I can do is push the switches out from the bottom here. Maybe. Maybe not. Well, that's definitely pushing them away from the board, or from the plate a little bit. Come on. Come on. Come on. Those are hard to get out. Okay. So that is the old MX plate. That's the chalk plate. And we're going to take the clerps, stick them in the clerps buckets. Oops, there's one more over here. Set all that stuff off to the side for a minute. Off to the side. And I'm actually going to try a different bit for pushing these out. Oh wait, no. There we go. I want to try one with a flatter tip on it. So hopefully I'm pushing more pressure onto the stem instead of pushing the bit into the stem. Although, to be honest, I don't know if that's doing anything different, but we'll see. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Let me just see if I can... kind of wedge in here a little bit and separate the switch plate from the PCB. Oh, that is certainly doing the trick. Okay. Ideally, what I'm trying to do here is make it so I can just pop this whole plate off, switches and all, from the PCB. But doesn't look like I'm having much success. Okay, well, it loosened the switches out of the sockets, anyways. Come on. Ah. Hmm. Like the switches in the middle row are like, we're not getting out of here. Seriously, those do not want to come out. Come on. There we go. Last one. There. Okay. Save those for a future build, maybe? Probably not. Alright, so now, because this is an MX spaced case, if I put it together like this, I'm going to push chalk switches into here and they're not going to reach the plate or the case or the PCB. So what I have to do is put the switches in, like, I have to do it this order. Basically put all the switches in and then pop it into the actual rest of the case. So what switches am I going to use? That's a great question. What do I have? Silvers, Robins, although some of these Robins are linears because I stole the click bars out of them, so I'm not going to use those. But I am going to use Robins. I would use silvers, but I just don't really love light linears. And I want to be able to actually use this board if I want to, so. Okay, so put these here. Oh, whoops. I have autofocus on. I'm sorry. There. Okay. I've gotten, well, I don't want to say I've gotten feedback, but I've read reports from people on the internet who say the autofocus, the constant movement of the focus and stuff fucks with them and can give them migraines. It is also just really annoying to watch. So I try to use fixed focus because most of the time fixed focus is just fine. But this app, apparently it doesn't default to it. I don't know. I'm still working on my setup. That's one of the things I'll add to my pre-flight checklist, is make sure that fixed focus is on the camera. Autofocus on this camera is not so bad, because it's like a tiny little me in the corner. But autofocus on the main camera, not great. And yeah, this plate, you know, imagine that. The actual correct thickness plate for the switches you're using works better. Who'da thunk? Okay. So then that goes on there. And now if I show it from the side, you see how much distance there is there. I want to get shorter standoffs for this. I just don't know exactly where to get them. I'm pretty sure I can get like a standoff kit on Amazon that has a bunch of different sizes. I just haven't bothered because I want this to be lower profile. I've thought about putting it in my actual Cornell P case, but I like my other board being in there. So I'm going to leave it. And I don't really feel like buying another Cornell P case right now. They're kind of pricey. Not just for a friggin' museum piece. But before I go through the effort of putting all the caps and stuff on, I'm going to just make sure this board still works. Well, the LEDs on the left hand aren't on. But we'll figure that out. I don't think they're broken. I think they're just turned off. And I don't remember I don't remember how the key bindings are on this. Take that off. Let's get this out of the way. And let's get some glowing. How do I do this without spilling these all over the floor? It's actually going to hold itself together very well. Okay. Nope. Oh well. Just makes it more fun. So we've got our little puddle of keys here. This one is already one that I'm not going to use because it's the wrong cap. So that is also the wrong cap. D. BMWVZ. There's my homing H. These are, I'm not gonna lie, these are nice to the touch. They're smooth, but they have just ever so slightly a little bit of texture. They're not smooth, glossy smooth like the hollows. That's it. They're MBK hollow, they call them. These are just like shellacked. Like these are kind of hard to explain. Okay. That is not a V, I don't believe. I think that's V though. You know what's really crazy is I've been typing Dvorak for, I don't know, 11 years now, 12 years, something like that. I still couldn't tell you what the layout looks like. Like I literally have to look it up which keys go where. Okay. Because most of the time I'm typing on keyboards that either don't have legends at all, or they have QWERTY legends. So they're completely wrong anyways. FGCRL? Okay. Oh wait, that's a homing key. Or homing J. EY. That's a homing U. Good. W. I'm missing a few keys here. And I can't tell if that's O or a circle. I think it's O, because I think that's supposed to be 0. God damn it. Okay. Oh. So that's supposed to be a hyphen. That's whatever. It doesn't get used. In my layout anyways. Where's my E key? That must have been one that fell. But I thought I'd gotten them all. Maybe it went into the trash can. It is one that fell that I didn't pick up. Okay. I'm just glad I didn't go in the trash, because I didn't want to have to dig through the trash can. Okay. So, on this layout, enter, space, nothing, backspace. What does that do? Whatever. It's a heart. Oh yeah, where's my minus underscore key? So that's what I want to have here. Is there one in the MBK Legend? Or MBK Glow Legend thing? Ah, I don't think there is. Yeah, there's no minus underscore and there's no plus equals. So that's fun. What do I want to put there? That's always the hard part of like, I've got rando keys. We're going to put infinity here. And that there. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I was looking at the picture of the set on little keyboards and there's just, those keys aren't there. I think it's because this is meant for like a 40s style keyboard. And with 40s, you don't have those columns, I guess? I don't know. All right. Yeah, it's on the num row, but it's past the brackets. Getting that wonderful view of my armpit. Now that's nice. Let me see if I can figure out the... Well, maybe I screwed something up with the OLEDs on... No, because the OLED isn't on either. I bet this firmware is just messed up. I bet. Let me build us a firmware. I'm building a new firmware for this right now. Whoops. Okay. Doing a little bit of catching up on stuff while I'm waiting. No, I almost always do left hand as the primary. I would expect that it would just be swapped, where this corn would be on the left hand and this would have the, like if I had it backward. We'll see. I haven't used this keyboard pretty much at all, so. But I'd say that's pretty damn sweet. Some of these patterns aren't nearly as rainbowy as I remember. Like, I just see red, green, blue here, not rainbow. Well, no, that's definitely what it is. Huh. Okay, so let's go over to MK Toolbox. Yeah, there are a bunch of different patterns. I don't remember what I even have enabled on these. Oh yeah, and I don't have reset buttons, so I need my tweezers. Okay, clear EEPROM. flash. Okay, there we go. Clear EEPROM. Flash. Okay, so it's flashed. Okay, now it's all good. There we go. That's the rainbow barf I'm looking for. Let's see. Zoom out. And let me try to turn the brightness down a little bit so it's not completely blowing out the camera. There we go. Boom. Party time. Yeah, this is nice. I like this a lot. I love RGB keyboards. I'm a sucker for rainbow and backlighting and stuff. In fact, I have a Kyria that I want to build one of these days that is all matte black. It doesn't have an OLED, so I have a matte black OLED cover that's actually integrated in the top plate. And it's got a translucent or a frosted white layer so that some of the underglow seeps around the edge. So what I want to do is the Cylon board, right? It's all matte black, but it's got that pulsing red light that goes across the bottom. One of these days I'm going to build it. I almost built it yesterday, but I decided not to stream yesterday because I just didn't feel like it. And I was like excited about this too. So I was like, okay, I want to prep and do this, do today's stream as good as I can. So yeah, but anyways, this is my my RGB corn, chalk corn with the MBK Glow keycaps on it. And I'm excited about the fact that it's Dvorak Legends. I'm excited about the backlighting. It's just, this is a really cool board. I'm happy with it. Yeah. I still need to port my combos and stuff from ZMK over to QMK and to all the other boards that I own too. So like really the only usable board I have right now is my Zaphod, because it has all the stuff that I've done to it. Like it has all the features that I've done. I just need to sit down and port that stuff around at some point. I don't know. But yeah, I think tomorrow is going to be a chill stream. Going to do some Vegemite sandwich, maybe, and some ARTSEY learning, and just hanging out and shooting the shit, and I don't know, maybe something else. We'll see if I think of anything before then. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'm gonna call it a day here. This has been fun. Thank you all for hanging out, for sticking with me when I'm hot gluing this hot mess together. I will work on the 3D printing to make the actual bottom plate better, but for now it's it's a functioning keyboard. It does the job. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe not. I don't know. Up to you. See ya.